like the most fun thing to do in crop waters, eh? I set a pot, guys, I like to come in upstream against the flow. If you're coming in with the flow, with the tide, you've got no control of how fast the boat goes with it. You go upstream against the flow's coming in now, it's coming this way. It's coming in this way, so I'll push up against it and I'm going to tie my float off to the mangrove up here nice and high because it's a big tide today. And when I want to check it later, I want to get to that float, so I don't want it to be underwater. I won't be tying it low, so I'll be coming in and then I'll be heading to the front so I don't bash my motor, like about now. All right, so I don't bash my motor too much, I'll always grab and I'll come in and I'll find a spot to tie and float, just a granny knot around the big chunk of the mangrove root. Somewhere there. Big flows, I always tie pots. I like to use thin green rope and green floats. A bit more camouflaged. Right, always put 2 funnels in the direction of the flow. There's a little gully in there. Right at the front of the little gully. I like the more inconspicuous little gullies like that there, rather than a big creek mouth. But that's one pot. But this other big pot I'll put up around the corner. Conditions are pretty nasty. It's wet, raining, windy, cold. Apologies if this footage is rubbish because it's probably got all drops of water all over the lens. Got to tie these up nice and high because the tide is coming in still. And it's still going to get another 1.5 meters from where I am right now. Don't want to throw it too far out from the edge, otherwise the flow will pick it up. When it starts to pick up that flow, it'll drag it under some roots. Don't want that. Not fun when you can't get your crab pots back and they're under tree roots. Doing a little bit of crabbing today. I've just dropped my 4 pots in down the creek. The creek is a really big tide today, really big high tide coming in. It's about 5.7, 5.8 meters. It's still got probably another 2 hours of run in yet. So I'm just sitting here on the electric, spot locked, and just waiting. I'm just running pots today because I'm sick of leaving them overnight and having them checked. That's happened to me quite a few times recently. So just put the pots in, looking to do a little video on crabbing. I'm running them. So every 45 minutes, or when this tide slows down a bit, I'll move the pots. I'll work the pots today, cover new ground, move them up 100 meters every time. It only takes 20 to 30 minutes for crabs to find your bait in your pots. I've got some really good bait in there today. I've got some mac tuna, which I reckon is the best crab pot bait you can get. So when you go and have fun chasing monchromies, make sure you keep a couple for bait. I've just chopped them into 4 bits and put a piece in every pot. That scent with this flow will really travel through that water, nice and bloody, nice and oily, really good for reef and bottom bashing bait as well. But I've got my heavier duty pots out towards the mouth and my lighter pots up the creek a little bit more where there's less flow. But yeah, we've had a lot of rain lately, so the water's pretty chocolate. Flushes the crabs, stirs them up. They don't like the fresh, so they move around towards the mouth of the creeks, which is a good spot to be because they're pushing out there to the cleaner, saltier water coming in. We've had a lot of rain, a lot of wind today as well. It was pouring down rain earlier. I've got to put the bilge on soon because I'm pretty sure the hull's full of water. I always like a nice clean boat as well, so I always use a tarp. Always put my crab pots down on the tarp. You know, when you get all your leaves and all your mud in here, you still get a little bit of muddy water towards the back of the boat, but most of the crap just deposits on the tarp, and you can just flick that out and all your leaves. I hate a messy boat. Guys, it's been about an hour. There was a lot of flow, so I'd like to have checked them every half an hour, but it's been an hour, so the flow has really been ripping. It's just starting to slow down now, so I'm going to start to try get me pot in there and check it first one. Lucky I tied it up nice and high, only the float's visible at the moment, and it's questionable whether I'll even get the rope, but we'll see how we go. Just cruising on the electric real nice and steady. That's what I like to do. The electric's fantastic for crabbing, it really helps you out. Especially when you're sort of going through and sorting your pot. You don't want to be drifting into the flow, into the mangroves. You just hit spot lock in the middle of the creek and you can process your pots. I'll get my lure retriever. Let's see if I can get me rope. All right, just going to spot lock there. See if I can get some rope. Here we go, got it. What I'll do now is I'll just go back out into the middle of the creek a little bit so I can pull this out and it hopefully doesn't go under the mangrove roots. I'm just hitting jog so it moves 5 foot left every time. So I can get out of these mangroves without scratching my boat up too much. And I'll give it my first lift. It's heavy. One in there, two in there, both undersized, no good. Right, lure poles, I tell you what, they come in handy for more than just lures, eh? Oh, getting your rope and the tide's too high from your crab pots. Another good use for them, I tell you that. Feels light. Hey guys, different stage of the tide. It's because it's the next day. I ran the pots yesterday for about 3 or 4 hours. Every 45 minutes to an hour I was moving it. Didn't get a single crab. I was hoping to get a couple and get out of here, but I decided to leave them in because I didn't get any. So let's see what's happened overnight. Pot's still there, which is nice. No one's flogged it. Hope to get a couple of muddies. I always drop me electric. Cut out into the middle and process the pot to the tide. And just spot lock it out here, just so the tide doesn't keep pushing me in any mangroves. All right, spot lock now. Ugh. Oh. Small crabs in here. Nice black spot estuary cod, but no legal crabs. Disappointing. Pull this pot in. Oh, big Jenny in there. Far out. Female crab and an undersized buck by the looks. And a little brim, no good. Oh, there's a buck. That looks like a buck. That looks like a buck. Yeah, that's a big buck. Oh, we got one. One big crab. That's a good sized crab, that one. See him in there? Eating the mac tuna too, doesn't want to give it up. Peter didn't get 3 or 4 of these, just one. Come here, mate. He's well and truly legal, this guy. Big buck. You can tell by that triangle there, as opposed to a flap. He's a good crab. Big North Queensland lollipops. My daughter Ruby, she'll probably eat both of them. Should be fighting me for him, I'll tell you that. Yeah, he's about 2 centimeters over, so probably right. This guy's going in the esky for dinner. Ruby will probably eat both those claws, the little bugger. She loves them. So do I, but you know, I'll give it to my daughter. And I'll try salvage a little bit of meat from the body and the legs and make half a sandwich. A lot of work for not a lot of reward, to be honest. Hard work. Okay guys, so I'm going to cook up that crab that I caught earlier. So pretty much 2 days work for one crab. A lot of effort, not a lot of reward, but you know what? Going to cook it up, we'll get a bit of a sandwich out of it. Got my little 3-ring burner here. These things are fantastic. Hooked up to a gas bottle, big pot, we'll chuck the crab in. So just start that gas, open that up. There we go. Get that cooking for a bit. I've got a little bit of seawater, or water from the creek itself, nice and salty. That's what I like to cook the crabs in, the water from the creek with all the salt in it rather than adding your own salt. That should be plenty. There's just the one crab there. A little bit more. I'll get this on here and wait for it to boil. Okay guys, I'll just turn the gas down a bit. Don't like the flame coming up too high. Like that's fine. I'll wait for it to boil, so I'll put a obviously a lid on it, get it to the boil a lot quicker. What I'll do now is I'll get my crab out, put him in the freezer, put him to sleep before I chuck him in the water. It's a more humane thing to do. Stirred up. He's a bit feisty, he's not real happy. There we go. There's our crab. I'm going to chuck him in the freezer, put him to sleep. Okay guys, got the crab in there from the freezer. It's back on the reboil. Okay, 17 minutes is exactly how long I like to time that for. So it boiled, and usually when you chuck your crab in, or crabs in, it'll stop boiling for a little while. But once it gets back on the reboil again and gets hot enough, I'll go 17 minutes from that point on. Okay guys, that's our 17 minutes completely up. I'll turn off the gas and I'll get this guy out of here. Flames off. He has dropped the nipper. Bugger, let's keep him whole if I can. There we go, there's our big crab. Important now to get him under some cool water, ice, or in the fridge so they stop cooking in their own shell. Okay, just get him under some cool water now so they stop cooking in the shell. That's what I like to do. Put them in the fridge, probably better. Fresh water's not the best with seafood, but lucky the meat's still on the inside, obviously not on the outside. So in ice, in the fridge, or under a little bit of cool water, and then that makes it easier for me to clean it too shortly. Here we go guys, here's the money shot. A couple of North Queensland lollipops. Mine is a little bit weak. Ruby's is the dominant claw, definitely looks a little bit better. But cheers guys, little crabbing video, a lot of effort, one crab, but this is what it's all about, hey? Yeah. Love the lollipops. All right guys, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Cheers.